we're going to talk about empowerment. To start with empowerment, you have to remember who you are. Now, some of you have heard of us talk about this before. You are a divine being of light. You are a reflection of the divine. You are what the humans call God. You are creator. You are powerful beyond measure, and you've forgotten that. So part of empowerment, part of ascension, part of learning this is remembering who you are, remembering how powerful you are, and remembering who and what you are. You are worthy. You are so worthy that you can choose anything that you want. You can choose suffering and it will be given to you. Or you can choose your full power. You can choose to create anything you want. You get to choose. And that is part of what empowerment is. Your soul, your higher self, your inner being, use whichever term works best for you, communicates with you through your emotions. Your emotions are communication from your higher self to your conscious self. Your emotions are communication from your higher self to your conscious self. Now, some of you have heard us say that many, many times, and we will continue to say that till it really sinks in and that you get it. There are two emotions, love and fear. When you are in any positive emotion, that's what we refer to as love, and that is alignment. That is the second part of empowerment, is being in alignment with your soul, with your higher self, with your inner being in alignment, being in sync with that, and knowing who you are. That is empowerment. Now, the other emotion is fear, and fear is any negative emotion, which we would call, we don't want to say disalignment, because you're not, it's you're pinching off your energy. You've sort of split yourself off and you're not allowing the fullness of who you are to flow through you. So if you think of your soul as the best computer ever created that knows absolutely everything about you, about what you want, about where you're going, and all, and when you use your computer, you're in alignment. But when you sit there and go, I can figure this out myself, I don't need your help, I can do this myself, that's when you're no longer in alignment, because now you're working from the ego. And the ego doesn't have that information or that knowledge. You were raised to give your power away. You were taught to give your power away. And it becomes your programming. It becomes how you function in the world. You were taught that people in authority were good, smart, helpful, whatever, and you were taught to give your power away to them, to the teacher, to the doctor, to the police officer, to the principal, to the parent, to the the clergy, to the maybe older siblings, to all of that takes you out of alignment. You stop looking for that connection. You stop looking for that inside and you start looking outside of you. You've been trained to give your power away. Ed had a boss who was the general manager of the store that he worked in. Now, when Ed worked in different places, he was the manager of many people in many different scenarios. He usually worked in middle management. And Ed was always taught that if you're the manager, you put the needs of your people ahead of your own. And you make sure that your people shine, and you make sure that your people are okay and that they're doing what they need to do, etc. Now, side note, does it sound like people pleasing? Yeah, just a little bit. But We're not talking about that right now. When Ed came to the job with this other person who was the general manager, he acted like a 12-year-old. And Ed was astonished that here is a man in a position of authority who would have hissy fits and act like a child and put himself first and everything. And it was a wonderful learning experience for Ed because it started to undo the blind faith in authority and understand that what you're looking for is inside of you, not outside of you. You're taught that suffering leads to results. You cannot suffer your way to happiness. It's an impossibility. The law of attraction gives you more of whatever it is that you're focused on. Whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're focused on, you're getting more of from the law of attraction. So even if you want to stop suffering, if you're focused on suffering and most of your thoughts and most of your conversations are about suffering and about how unfair it is and all that's going on, and you're telling your friends about it and telling other people about it and telling everybody about the suffering, even though your higher self is not focused on any of the suffering, the law of attraction is going to continue to bring you suffering till you change the subject. Now, we can talk more about this part in the questions part if you want, but that's where we want to leave that for right now. But we want you to understand that the law of attraction and your soul, your higher self, your inner being are two separate things, and the law of attraction is simply a neutral law of the universe. Your higher self is always and only focused on the positive parts of what you want. That's why when you deviate from that connection, you feel the negative energy, you feel the pull, you feel the sort of the discord of it, that you're no longer in alignment. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Wanting to be right is disempowering. Do you want attention? Wanting attention is disempowering because you're giving your energy away to things outside of you that you don't have control over. People who try to dominate other people believe that they have no power. So they're using bullying to try to get their way because they believe they're small, they're weak, they've forgotten who they are, they have no self-esteem, and that's why they bully people. We're seeing a lot of that playing out in the world right now. Ed was in an organization that teaches public speaking, and he realized something and had a very interesting speech that he gave to them to help them understand something that they didn't realize. He started off the speech by asking them, what do you need from your audience? It was a question that he asked and expected answers from them. And they said they need people to pay attention. They need people to listen. They need people to laugh if they tell a joke. They need people to applaud. They need to applaud. They need people to do this, to do that, to do that. And Ed said to them, if you need your audience to do anything, they have the power, not you. You have disempowered yourself. You've given your power away to the audience. Do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? How about we change it? Do you want to be right or do you want to feel good? Remember, when you're feeling good, you're in alignment, you're connected, you are empowered. That's when your energy is flowing. That's when you're in complete alignment. That's when you have the supercomputer or the superpower or whatever it is that you want to call it working with you together. Empowerment is alignment and knowing that you and your higher self are in alignment and then choosing that, choosing to be in alignment, because from that state, you and your higher self know absolutely what is best for you. Not what the doctor said, not what the teacher said, not what anybody, manager said, boss said, anybody else that you can give your power away to. It's about being in alignment with yourself. Athletes talk about being in the zone and everything is in flow and the entire field slows down and they know what everybody is going to do. That's alignment. And you can have that kind of alignment all the time with absolutely anything if you remember that it's about how you feel. When you feel good, you're connected. When you don't feel good, you're not in alignment, and your work, if you choose to do it, we recommend that you do, is to put yourself back into feeling good and then choose. Empowerment is remembering who you are, remembering that you are a creator, remembering that you are divine, remembering that you are powerful, remembering that you are God and that you are creating your own life, your own world. Everything you see is a manifestation of what you're doing. It's a manifestation of your energy being reflected back to you. So you have complete control over that when you remember. And when you're in alignment and you remember who you are, that is empowerment. And from that state, you can create anything you want. You can live any experience you want. You can be joyful, happy, eager, flowing, etc. And that's where we'd like you to be more of the time and understand that. And if you find yourself in a situation where you're giving your power away, it's not the end of the world. It's simply understanding, okay, I'm learning from this. I want to be in alignment more. And every time you realign yourself, it becomes stronger. And you remember and you become more focused and you get better at it. That's all. It's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. It's simply remembering. I want to feel good and I want to remember who I am so that I am empowered and not giving my power away to others, as I had been indoctrinated to do, but now understand and no longer do that.